Hey, it's Otto here, back with another video. So in today's video, guys, what I'm going to do is talk to you about copywriting. Now, if you are a copywriter and you're watching this video, you have to pivot. And in this video, what I'm going to do is show you specifically why you need to pivot, including your offer and the service that you're providing, how actually one small minor strategic play can help you leverage your existing skill set but actually blow the roof off of your earning potential, and how you can overcome all of those issues you're facing now in today's economy where copywriting is being seen as a commodity and where you are just simply not able to close the clients that you want to work with and get paid the money you know you are deserved to be paid. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just minimize my face, and we're going to talk about a couple of issues here, right? So we're going to get a text box up. I'm going to label this issues. Now, the first issue is that if you're offering copywriting, one thing you need to understand is that copywriting is incredibly hard to actually demonstrate value. Okay, so the first issue that we're seeing, and last week I took a load of our inbound partnership calls where a lot of the guys I spoke to are in a position now where they've been trying to scale their copywriting business, and they've actually gotten to the point where they just simply can't close clients and they're just not getting paid enough to warrant actually continuing in that vertical, in that niche. Okay, so this video, if you're struggling in that position, this video is going to help you. Okay, so the first issue that you need to understand is that copywriting is incredibly hard to actually demonstrate tangible physical value. Okay, so as a marketer, as a salesperson, it's very easy for you and I to say, well, look, copywriting is valuable. It's going to help increase your conversions. It's going to get you more eyeballs. It's going to help you book more calls for your service or sales for your product. It's very easy for us to talk like that, but when it actually comes to trying to pitch and close a client, all they want to know is the black and white, okay, the brass tacks of what they're paying for, okay? And this is what's likely to lead you down the route of conversations where a client will say, well, look, we'll pay you X per word, or if you do 1,000 words, this is what we'll pay you for that project. And the problem with that is that with any project-based, one-time work, is that it gives you no security and no projected cash flow as a business person. And if you don't have cash flow, and if you have no kind of protected and projected income that's being generated by the business, it's very difficult for you to have any sort of longevity, let alone scale. Okay, so the first issue is that it's very hard to demonstrate value. And what that creates is basically an environment that is very short-term, very reactive. Okay, so if you're sat there and you're saying, oh yeah, nodding your head and yes, this is me, I'm struggling to actually close any clients on big time retainers or get paid anything significant up front, and all I'm able to do is actually offer free services and bill the odd $500 or $2,000 or $1,000 project-based piece of work, then this video is for you. Okay, so the second issue, all right, so the first issue, let's actually write this down before I get above myself, is this, okay? Hard to demonstrate tangible value. Okay, tangible value is the real key there. Okay, so physical material value, not something esoteric, something that's up there, that's elusive, that it's hard for the clients to actually define. Okay, so copywriting within that realm, it's very difficult to do that. The second issue, okay, is saturation and over competition, or oversaturation and competition. Okay, and I'm not going to have to drill this point home to you, but it's incredible, and I'm not sure where it's coming from, whether there's an online guru who's pitching copywriting as the end-all be-all solution, silver bullet to your cash flow problems. But the problem that we're seeing is that the barriers to entry to copywriting are incredibly low. And if you have a relatively good command of the English language and you're able to write, emails or whatever it might be, we're seeing everybody and their dog go out to the marketplace saying that they're a copywriter and saturating that offer. So it's becoming incredibly difficult and increasingly harder for you guys out there who might be watching this, who are actually very good at copywriting and really good at delivering your service, and you've been doing it for a number of years. It's very difficult for you to actually get that immediate traction and that engagement that you need to get the attention of your ideal client prospect, to actually get them on a call, pitch them, close them, and then benefit from the cash flow of that client when you're working with them. Okay, so that's the second issue. Now, the third issue is kind of tying into that. And again, this isn't one I'm going to have to tell you. You'll be experiencing it if you're a copywriter and you're trying to scale your business in today's economy. ChatGPT and AI. Okay, so we're seeing this whether you have a niche or a target market of gurus or online influencers or brands or whatever it might be. It's very easy for CEOs and company founders and brand owners to actually generate copy themselves. Okay, so chances are, if they have got the intelligence to actually create a brand and run a company, and hopefully a successful company for a number of years, chances are they can actually write copy okay themselves and then leverage AI tools like ChatGPT to perfect that copy. Okay, and what that creates is an environment where your skills have become redundant. Okay, but what I'm going to do now is actually talk you through the solution. And the good news is there is a solution, and the even better news is that the solution is one that leverages your current existing skill set. Okay, so you're not going to have to dramatically change your service delivery or your offer or what you're doing. All you're going to have to do is put this one strategic little play, this pivot in place, and it's going to, like I say, blow the roof off of your earning potential. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about issue-wise here, we're going to draw an arrow, is kind of funny because on some of the calls that I was doing last week, it's really interesting hearing guys talk about wanting to scale a copywriting business and they aren't native English speakers, or English isn't their first language, or simply their command of English just isn't that good. In addition, it's interesting to see guys online as well try and scale their copy business when they were terrible in school. Okay, so contrary to a lot of the kind of guru advice online, I was a high school dropout. The majority of successful business owners or CEOs are ones that survived conventional academic education. Okay, maybe they even performed really well at school. They have a propensity to learn, to consume information and put that information into action. Now, if you were an individual at school that hated English and you were terrible at English, or maybe you are dyslexic, then chances are trying to scale a copy business just isn't the right service delivery vehicle for you. Okay, so if you're in that position, if you don't speak English very well and you don't understand English, that's okay. There's no judgment. There's 1,000,001 other service delivery models you can actually pursue and scale more successfully than if you were to try and force yourself to become the best copywriter ever. Okay, so if that's you, it might be time to reconsider. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is the pivot. And I'm going to show you how you can do this pivot by leveraging your existing skill sets. And leveraging your existing skill sets is one of the most important things when it comes to actually adapting your offer and seeing results and success quickly. Okay, so right now you have the core skill sets that any brand or company can leverage in order to persuade and compel their audience. Okay, and being persuasive and attention grabbing is obviously one of the foundational skill sets that any company needs right now in order to actually get into a sales environment where they can sell and pitch their products and services. Okay, so you have the ability to either create copy and write content that is persuasive and attention grabbing, or you have a good eye for it. Okay, so maybe you don't write it at this stage, but you can see copy and see whether it's good or bad. Okay, I'm going to show you how to leverage that skill set. The second one is about audience understanding and segmentation. Okay, so just going to put audience here. Now, you will already understand from a foundational point of view that any piece of successful copy is based on its personalization and its specificity. Okay, so if you're writing a landing page and it's for a specific niche or audience, as a good copywriter, you're not going to create something generic and all-encompassing and wide-spanning when you know actually you need to speak to a specific demographic, like I am right now. I'm speaking to you as a copywriter. You will already understand those core principles. Okay, and again, the second element of your skill set is what's going to help you make this pivot. All right, now the third point here, I've kind of talked about it already, is what should we write here is kind of, we'll just write edits, okay? So like I say, you are either good at doing this yourself, physically writing the copy, or you can see good and bad copy for what it is. You can see, you can notice when you're reading copy that works and when it doesn't, all right? And this is why this pivot is important. Now to talk about the pivot, we need to talk about e-com email, okay? So if you don't know me or you know who I am, I run an e-com email agency, and what that means and what we do is deploy email and SMS retention services for e-commerce brands. Okay, we do that in a specific way where we moved away from the commoditized, standardized retainer model, which was very difficult when actually trying to compete in a saturated marketplace. We now build significantly large e-com email infrastructures where we charge significant upfront fees in the region of 6, 12 to 36k upfront, where we then deploy a cross-sell or a downsell on the back end. So most of our monthly managed accounts are on no less than 5,000 USD retainers every single month. And it's actually easier to close them on that, which I've gone through in a number of different videos that I've got on the channel. So check those out if you haven't already, okay? So making the pivot from a copywriter to an e-com email agency. What we're going to talk about, first of all, is demand, okay? And why you should do this. Now, it's very interesting because a lot of people who have tried to blast brands and spam DM them, you know, teenagers in mum's basement, have gone to the marketplace. They have, at a primary foundational level, made seemingly the e-com space, the e-com vertical, too hard to get traction in. They've oversaturated it. But what we're seeing with all of the guys that enter our umbrella and our agency is that, and come to me for help, is that once you get past that initial hurdle, once you get through to the second follow-up or whatever it might be, the competition with other people trying to do the same thing significantly declines, okay? So you might find that in the e-com space, brands are being hit all the time, but actually brands that are getting followed up and then followed up again and again and again and omni-channel are far and few between, okay? And it's those brands that you, as a diligent copywriter who's pivoting to this model, will be able to close and then work with and have longevity with, okay? So demand is very high. Brands always need a way to increase lifetime value of their customers, and doing that in a way that doesn't mean spending more money on ads, okay? So I talk about this with my consulting clients when they deploy and deliver Facebook ads as a service. And the reason that I don't like this model is that there's so much with Facebook ads as a service or any kind of advertising, services that you're providing that is outside of your control. So if the client turns around at any one point and says, we're going to turn off our ad spend, then you are out of a job, okay? And even if you have a contract in place that says, you know, for $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, we're doing your Google ads or whatever it might be, and heaven forbid you have a performance-based agreement only, then it's going to be impossible, even with a contract, to say to them, no, you know, you actually need to pay us and we've got this, you're contractually obliged to. They're just going to say, no, we're not spending any money on ads, okay? So you'll run into that situation, and it's similar with copy, okay? So it's a fickle game. It's disposable for companies and brands, and what you need to do is, like I say, pivot, leverage your existing skill set, and try and scale an e-com email agency where you can actually embed yourself into a company, into a brand, all right? So brands will always need retention services. They always want to increase average order values, okay? So AOVs. They always want to increase placed order values, and they always want to increase lifetime value of their customers, okay? So lifetime value being the maximum amount of money and value that they can extract from that customer over the lifetime of them being a customer, being involved with their company and their brand, okay? So what this comes down to is retention marketing, okay? It's not acquisition, it's not an ad spend, it's retention, okay? So it's not acquisition. And the reason that this is so powerful is that once you actually close an e-com client, so say you close an e-com client for 5K a month, they're going to continue to need your services, okay? So on one side, you might build them some flows, okay? And granted, flows run in the background, they're automated, you know, once you're past a certain point, it's difficult to add more to flows. But when it comes to campaigns, and, you know, optimization, account management, graphic design, whatever it might be, there's when it comes to the amount of work that you can actually deliver for that client, apply it by a multiple of infinity, okay? It will never end, okay? So as long as you are generating revenue for the client, as long as you are creating tangible value, physical emails, okay, the client is going to keep you on, okay? And, if you believe that or not, take it from me. I've been in the game for 6 years now, okay? I can attest to that power, the power of it, all right? So e-com email is in extremely high demand, and demand is even higher for people who actually know what they're doing, okay? So if you have the foundational skill sets, which you do as a copywriter, then you will be successful at this, all right? The second point here is that retention is easy, okay? So you're not going to You're not going to have to play around with, actually, no, we're doing an easy sign here. Try and do one thing at a time. Retention is easy, okay? So it comes down to copy, comes down to designs, comes down to CTAs, and then overarchingly, setup, all right? Setup, we'll call that, like anything, all right? And as again, copywriter, you already know how to write copy. Designs can easily be outsourced, so you can pay for an infrastructure, so you have those designs already 90% customized, so it's easy for you to deploy. And when I say 90% customized, the designs are done, you can just change the copy again, thereby leveraging your skill set. And again, CTAs, based on specific segmentations, you're going to be familiar with, right? So these are all skill sets in your arena. You're not going to have to change what you are good at. You're not going to have to, go over everything you've learned to date, all right? So retention is easy, and you can leverage your existing skill set. So what I want to do finally, guys, is talk to you about some common kind of mistruths. Okay, we've talked about one already. Okay, so mistruth number one is that e-com is saturated. And I've got a number of different videos on the channel about how you can actually, with strategies and implemented kind of techniques that we use as an agency to actually get attention from brands and close them, and how we can do that without competing in an oversaturated marketplace. Now, the second one here is that e-com is too hard. Okay, so you might be thinking, oh, I don't know how to have an e-com email agency. What about Klaviyo? What about this or that? Let me tell you, having an e-com agency, once you learn the basics and the foundations of scheduling campaigns, whatever it might be, and launching flows, it's very, very easy to maintain. There's very few things and moving parts that can go wrong. Okay, you're not going to get an ad account shut down where literally you're out of business and you're not going to be able to deploy your service. Okay, and another mistruth here is that you need a team. All right, which is not true. So if you are in our school community already, you will know this. But what we recommend is having an incredibly lean team, where instead of outsourcing to Klaviyo technical experts, where you're going to have to pay, $2,000 to $4K per month for their services. Believe me, we've used those guys. They oftentimes work out to be a lot less useful than they've actually pitched you, and a lot less proficient than their portfolios demonstrate. What you're going to be able to use is what we call a full stack Klaviyo implementer, which is basically an extension of a virtual assistant who's going to help you literally do the admin, setting send times, clicking live on campaigns or pop-ups, whatever it might be, okay? And then the fourth and final mistruth here is that e-com is too much work. Now, if you are experienced with writing copy and you've had a number of different clients, you will know that scope creep is a real thing, and actually every client that you've brought on to work with has probably gotten to a point where you're now having to do extra things for them. You're actually having to write more copy or edit more copy, and it's very hard for you to go back to them every single time that they creep on that scope and give you these creeping and increasing requests. It's hard for you to kick back at them because you're fearful that they'll just get rid of you because what you're delivering is so commoditized, okay? So e-com is not too saturated. It's easy. It's not hard. It's very easy to do this with a lean team, or even just yourself. You have loads of guys in school that are just doing it on their own. And it most definitely is not too much work. Okay. And like I say, we've got many videos on the channel where we talk about the infrastructure builds that we deploy for our clients and how we get paid upfront for doing so. All right, so check out those videos if you haven't already. Hopefully this video has helped you if you're a copywriter. If you're not already in our school community, feel free to join. There's no pressure at all, but we've got a load of e-com email guys in there, and we've obviously got access that we'll be giving you inside there to our e-com email accelerator, which tells you every single piece of information, all the inputs, all the nuts and bolts behind actually launching and scaling a successful e-com email agency. All right, guys, hope that's been helpful, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.